Start of recording.
Sup, macha, Lehit? How's life?
Good, all good. How's life?
Life, macha. Good only.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's up, bro? How's it going? You told Rohit you wanted to discuss something, no, about some idea which you had.
Game theory.
No, I mean, I heard your discussion and stuff. So, I mean, I had this
Oh, really?
thought
Which one you
process.
got, macha? Which one exactly?
The one which you spoke on AI. So,
Okay.
I was actually thinking about how human behavior is actually going to be different from artificial intelligence. So.
Okay.
Game theory is basically, it helps you understand how humans will act at a certain given point. It may not be accurate, but then yeah, it is really helpful. So I was thinking, how will it be different when it comes to an artificial intelligence, and how will it be for human nature? So that is the thing. So because one major thing about humans is that, there can be many situations, but they can fix at a single point, which is not necessarily the best for everyone. So that is a worst thing
Don't
in
mind me,
human
but
nature.
I mean, I haven't eaten anything in the morning, so that's why, okay. Just don't mind me. Continue.
So yeah, so that is the thing. But whereas artificial intelligence can be a lot different because they have this coordination within themselves. So I think they will reach for the better one. So
Okay.
so the Nash equilibrium won't be stuck at a equilibrium which is not the best. And similarly, one thing that is what made humans upgrade and update their in technology and multiple things. So always we have the strengths, and because of which we tend to update or upgrade our devices, our lifestyles. So I was thinking, like, if artificial intelligence happens, they would approach for the best very, very, very quick on. So I think that within themselves they'll reach a Nash equilibrium, which according to them is the best. But
I mean,
that will become
for
stagnant.
those who are watching this, would you explain what a Nash equilibrium is briefly? Like briefly.
So
like
yeah. See,
the basic idea.
So basically, Nash equilibrium is this situation or the outcome where by doing it, you are getting a good outcome, and by deviating from it, you're actually only reducing your outcome, and there is no way you can increase by deviating it. So
But both in one party in one way.
Yeah.
So that basically decides human behavior, no? To make them work in a particular order, because that's the best outcome.
Exactly. So right now, if you want an example, there can be many examples. Let's say, okay, fine. Let's say there is this 5 places. There are five positions. I give you 5 boxes, and I tell you that you can stand. There are 2 people. I tell each of them that you can stand in any of these 5 boxes, and the nearest box to you will be the people who are coming to you to buy stuff from you. So let us say there are 5 boxes, A, B, and A, B, C, D, A. So now, accordingly, if I choose A and the other guy chooses, let us say, E, that time what happens is there is equal distribution. And let us say on equal distribution, the thing will get kind of equal. So, this is 2 and 1.5 and 1.5 are getting shared here. And if I choose B right now, so this whole A block is becoming mine. And now I'll be sharing the remaining, the C and the D with the other guy. So that is how it works. So generally what happens in certain situations is the Nash equilibrium is the case where both of them are at the same place and they share equally.
So both of them share whatever is behind them. Then in the middle, they both choose C.
Yeah, they both choose C. Yeah, they're in the middle. So each block is equally distant to them. So they both share the the customers. Let us say the customers that are there, they both share the customers equally. So whereas now for example, if I want to deviate from it, let us say from I don't want C, I'll go to D. By going to D, what am I doing? I'm only getting what do you say, E customers right now. Like your number of customers are decreasing. So that basically your payoff is decreasing. So here the Nash equilibrium is this case where both of them are at this situation that is the center, and by deviating from it, they cannot improve their situation.
Okay.
So that is the Nash equilibrium.
Okay. So, like from what I've known, I've read about the prisoner's dilemma. No.
Yeah,
Read
that
about
is another.
So
Again,
this is a situation where an individual makes a particular decision to get the best outcome for himself in spite of what others choose.
yes. So prisoner's
Okay.
dilemma is one beautiful thing where the Nash equilibrium is not the best for both of them. It is in
Yeah.
fact kind of a worse thing. If you compare the best outcome for each
Yeah.
one, and the outcome which is in the Nash equilibrium, that they're very very different. So if you see that again, let us say let us assign outputs. Let us say payoffs are
Okay.
prisoner's dilemma. If you cooperate, okay. If
Okay.
you cooperate, let us say.
Let's give them the scenario. Let's give the viewers the scenario. What prisoners?
Mhm.
Okay. Should I
Okay,
give
fine,
it?
fine.
Okay. See, for
You give me.
you,
Yeah, sure.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so let us say there are okay, fine. Let us say there are two assassins, okay, and they're planning to break into this huge hall of people, and they're planning to assassin. Both of them are given together a contract to kill a set assigned person.
You could have chosen
So
any situation, but then you went to choose violence. Okay.
I mean, it's prisoner's dilemma. Come on.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay.
so yeah, so what happens is somehow both of these assassins get caught, right? So now both of these assassins are given this choice that you can tell the name of the person you had to assassin, and you're free to walk away. And if you
Yeah.
don't, you'll have 1 year of jail. Okay. But what the worst case is if the other person says the name, and you decide not to, you will be in jail for almost 10 years, and the other person is free to walk away. And if both
Yeah.
of them say the name, each person will be in jail for 5 years.
Okay.
So basically, if you think, it is 1 year, or if you're trying to cooperate, it is 1 year or it is 10 years.
Okay.
Well, I'll make the
Okay.
Right.
graph.
So
I think you showed me yesterday, huh? So that like
yeah,
So
do you
easy
want
to
me to
understand. Yeah.
go?
you make the square. No. Where you
Yeah,
start yes or no for both people.
you make the square. So basically,
So the
if you
best
choose to
option will be to tell.
yes, irrespective of what the other person is gonna do, the best
Okay.
option is for you to tell. Because if you are
Yeah.
let us say the other person is going to cooperate, for a fact he's going to cooperate.
Yeah.
So that time the
Yeah.
outcome is one, and you're free to walk away, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the best option for you is to free to walk away, correct?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
other case, let us say the other person is gonna defect for sure. Like he's gonna say. So that time your outcomes will be 10 and 5. 10 is because yes, that
Yeah.
is the graph. You can see 10 and
Yeah.
5. So
Yeah.
if you are actually being quiet, you have to be in jail for 10 years. That's a bad thing for you. So you would choose to
Yeah.
tell. So in both the cases, for you the best thing is gonna be to give out the secret. And
Okay.
similarly for the other guy, it's best for him to tell out. So what happens in that case is the Nash equilibrium will become 5, 5. But if you see 1, 1 is actually a mutually good decision for both of them. But still, Nash equilibrium says human behavior will choose 5, 5. So that is what
Yeah.
is happening. Yes.
They will choose to not tell based on
They'll choose
experiment.
to tell. No, they'll choose to
They
tell.
they will choose to tell. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, because even though 1 and 1 is a good output, they'll choose to tell, and then
Yeah.
their outcome is becoming bad.
Wait, so
You
they're
see the
rewarded
difference.
for not being
Okay.
honest.
Hmm?
So they're basically rewarded for not being honest. So if you don't tell, you get 1 year. If you tell, you get 5 years.
No more.
Then
If both of them don't tell, then it is 1-1.
yeah, so
And
you're
if you
rewarding dishonesty, no?
But they don't know they're lying. No, they don't know they're lying. You
yeah,
understand what
they
I'm
don't know
saying?
that, like,
These two
Prison
assassins,
yeah.
they got
the
caught
prison
too.
keepers
So
don't
they
know
know
that.
they're assassinated. I mean,
See,
assassins.
listen. Let us say the assassins were caught for what reason? We don't know for what reason. Let us say
For
these people
assassinating
broke
people,
into.
obviously.
We don't know they are
Suspicion,
assassins.
bro. Suspicion. Yeah.
Like, yeah, let us
That's
say,
the scenario.
yeah, let us say these people gate crashed the party and they're like, they're not allowed to be in that party, but they came. So they are caught on this basis. And they're like, if you tell
Okay.
why you care, we'll let you free. So this is what is
Bro, this
happening.
honestly doesn't make sense, bro. Like, first of all, if you have suspicion, both don't tell, and then you prove that they're not guilty, they're not assassins, you'll give them 0, not 1. Why would you chumma give them 1 year prison for no reason? Nothing,
Because
no.
because they shouldn't be at the party. And they are at the
It's just a
party.
case, bro. Like Prisoner's Dilemma is just a drama created around this problem where you give
Yeah.
outcomes for telling or not telling. That's all.
Macha, it's a
In
fictional.
real world, don't
The
think so
rules
much.
are fictional. No, if let's say I said, oh, if you both don't tell, you get 10, and then if both tell, you get 1. And then you'll tell, oh, Macha, Nash behavior actually says human behavior chooses 1/5, Macha. Then you can't say that, no. It's because I made the rules. I'm telling, oh, 5,5, yeah, makes sense, Macha. I mean, it doesn't work that way, right?
Yeah.
I
I can tell
mean,
you,
see,
if both are not admitting,
listen,
I'll tell 5 years jail. I mean, I can do that, no.
listen. I mean, according to you, okay, let us say you're saying this is not really possible, right? I
No, it
would say
doesn't
it
make
is very,
sense is
very
what I'm
possible.
saying, yeah.
I would say it is very possible. I'll say there are two people, this happens a lot, there are two people who are
Oh, you
caught
don't know whether
into.
they're killers or no. Shot at happens all the time.
Listen, no, you don't know, what is their plan. Let us say there are two, let us say sleeper cells, okay,
Cool.
fine.
Hmm.
And they're caught. You need to know what is their plan, where they're gonna plant the bomb. Okay. So according to you, I can threaten you, I can give you many things. One thing is giving incentives. I'll give you an incentive saying that if you say, that where you're gonna plant the bomb, I'll let you go. And similarly, but if both of them say they're gonna be, they're gonna stay, do you get the difference there?
Yeah.
Yeah, for this case, I get the difference, yeah.
So that is what it is. Like, so if the what do you say? If the relationship between, let us say, the two people is really good, that time what
Like the
happens is
both
they
of
will
us.
choose to cooperate.
Okay,
Yes, they'll
cool.
they'll choose to cooperate because
Uh-huh.
they know the other person won't say. But
Okay.
if there are doubts, if there are not much closeness between them, they'll be like,
Like me and
he
Harikesha.
can't say it out. Yeah, they can choose to say, they're like, no, this guy is gonna give the secret away, so I will too. So that is how it is.
So, okay, fine. But you're assuming that they do think rationally, right?
Yes.
Then you can complicate this even further as to how many
Yeah,
like you can give a
actually, yeah,
probability. You can give a
that is a
probability of what each person will say, and then that complicates everything.
yes,
No.
that is
Macha,
as
no
per.
need. Let game theory be game theory and let probability statistics be there, man. No need. Don't
No,
mix
no,
them.
no. No, you're
That's
wrong.
game
You're
theory,
wrong
da.
there. It's actually game theory. There is something called rationality. It depends on how rational a person is. So there is something called zero rationality. There is, less lower rationality and higher rationality. So if the
Like
person
me
is
and all
very
higher
intelligent,
rationality and then.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
understood.
yes.
Okay. Cool.
Me
Okay.
of the zero rationality. So
Cool.
basically, basically, people of higher rationality will not only think what their outcome is,
I know what I'll do.
right?
You come.
Yes, so it is.
Rohit
I
knows,
will
da.
choose my I will
Huh?
choose my action
Hmm.
based on your
Yeah.
action. That is a level of rationality. And
Definitely.
I'll tell you a greater level of rationality is I will choose an action which is based on your action, and that action which you choose is actually based on my action, like what I am
Oh,
thinking.
Inception. Okay.
So you can actually, highest rationality is an infinite process. Like, I know that you know that I know that you know, and it goes on. So
Okay.
that is how game theory is. So there are people of multiple intelligence and multiple level of rationalities.
As you
So
can see
yes,
here.
rationality does play a role, but yeah, this is assuming that all of the
Okay.
people involved are rational.
Cool. So now, okay, we got a good base as to what game theory was. So you were relating this to AI, right? So
Yes,
what
yes.
what connections were you making there?
So see, AI as a whole, I was thinking AI as a whole, more than being an individual being like us and having individual thoughts. I was thinking they would have something called as group rationality. They would reach group rationality more faster than how we reached. Like we also
Okay.
have a group rationality. Like there is a community. You need to have a good,
PCT.
greater cause like PCT. Yes.
I mean, I'm
So
sorry. A community rationality is where our decision is based on what the community wants, or
yes,
what the
as
rules are in the
a whole.
community.
Yes, as a
Okay.
whole, like good for everyone kind of thing. I
Hmm.
was thinking that this would be much faster in AI. They would come to an such high level coordination much faster than what we are at this point, and they would reach the best level, the best outcome even faster. And I was thinking, as I said, prisoner's dilemma, that Nash equilibrium is at the bad end, not at the best end. Like it's not necessarily the worst. Worst would be you getting 10 years and the other guy walking free. But 5-5 is still bad compared to 1 and 1, right? So
Hmm.
I was thinking that artificial intelligence can actually come to 1 and 1 much faster and much easily.
Okay.
And
Because they
this,
have enough data sets to analyze.
yes, and they will have also this coordination level between them even faster. Because
Okay.
like right now, as you said, rationality is differing when it comes to a computer, when it comes to an artificial intelligence. Right now, the level of coding and how we are doing it is actually pretty similar. Like there are, what you say, the if you go into DL and deep learning, the neural networks are going to be increasing, and how the outcomes, errors will be different, but still the outcome is going to be very very similar, right?
No.
So
Okay.
I was thinking there.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. If you want me to say yes, yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay.
I mean, see, it's not, again, I agree that it's not necessarily gonna be the same, but at the end goal, like, when you're making a neural network, your end goal is that everything should come to the same answer. Like, I agree one major part with machine learning and all these stuff is each run is gonna give you a different output. But if you make a model that each run gives you the same output, your model is actually a
Want them to
good
converge
output.
at some
Yes, you
point.
want them. Yeah, you want them to converge. So I was thinking that at some point you want them to converge. That is what I was saying, that this group rationality will be faster in AI. And again, I'll tell you, I was also saying that this might be a bad thing because they reach the best. So they wouldn't choose to upgrade in other ways. Like, for example, let us say mobile phones. We had Nokia phone long back. And at that point of time, that was our best. But then we
Hmm.
still saw the trends. We saw that, we need a camera. You can add in a camera to the phone. We added a camera, and right now we are having iPhone with one of the best cameras and stuff, which is almost equally good to what proper cameras were there.
Mm-hmm.
So you choose to upgrade. Now I'm not sure if that updates will happen in AI, because they reach the perfect
So
situation
you mean
according to
like
them.
how right now humans go from iPhone 1 to 4, to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, but then you're
Yes.
saying
Mm.
your AI will go from 1 to 10 to 100 to 1000 to 10,000. So
No,
yeah?
that is what I thought. See, that is the ideal case where they're actually upgrading, right? So I
Hmm.
was saying that they'll analyze the situation and they'll give you out iPhone 10 at the first place.
Cool. Hmm.
So according
Okay.
to them, iPhone 10 is the perfect solution to everything.
Cool.
So, and there, I don't think beyond that much upgrade will happen. Whereas we'll have an iPhone 11 at some point, because of what we have gone through, 1, 2, 3, whatever process we have gone through, we have seen the different trends. That is the reason I was thinking that we'll have an iPhone 11.
Oh,
But according
fuck.
to them, iPhone 10 is the best solution and they won't upgrade.
Oh,
So why,
fuck,
why would you
Lehit.
think
My
that that is the
God.
case? Why would you think that is the case? Is it due to limitation of
Okay, I'll answer that.
data
Okay,
available
so
for the AI?
yeah, so like let's say what he's trying to say is like let's say we started with the camera, okay, and then we started making the
Okay.
camera the best camera possible, okay. Let's say we started
Okay.
with my phone camera, okay, and then we went on to and then we proceeded to make the best phone camera ever, okay. But then we didn't stop there, right? We went on to add lidar sensors in the camera. We went on to add ultraviolet to I mean for what was it low light photography and all. So I think what he's saying is like AI, which is yesterday we spoke about this. No, like AI is super specific, right? It's not general. Like
Yeah.
AI that can drive a car cannot drive a
Okay.
two-wheeler probably. Okay, so it's AI is very specific. So when your AI is trained so specific to get the best camera ever, it'll focus on only on getting the best camera ever. It won't focus on adding a lidar to the camera. Won't focus on adding
Okay.
UV to the camera. Is what I'm assuming he's trying to say.
Okay. Fine. Fine. So that definition of the best is based on our necessities at the present. No, based on what
Correct.
is necessary to us right now in this moment.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
our necessities can change. No, our necessities can change over time. So that's why
Yes.
we end up
See,
getting iPhone 11.
Yeah. So
exactly. See, that is what I was saying. Like, right now, when we had a one, we saw this problem being there, because of which we are like, yeah, we need to improve it, and we have an iPhone 2 with the basic trends, the small changes, not necessarily huge, very, very small changes, and they did. So now let us say right now, I bring you the iPhone 30 and then I give it to you. How would you be like? According to me, I would be like, this is the best phone, and I wouldn't try to, even if I try to bring a flaw, according to me, I wouldn't find a flaw at this point.
you also think it's
And I
overkill,
think
no? Because you don't know what your necessities actually are at that point. Because
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
you might think it's
So
overkill.
exactly. So I don't see the trends moving when I give you, the best right now. Like, imagine I bring a thing from the future and give it to you, and it's saying that it's the best. I don't think you will, the trends will move any further. I don't think the necessities will change.
Okay. Because I have to analyze that. I have to process that now. Okay, fine. Cool.
Bro, wait, so you're
That's
saying
a good
AI
thought,
won't
bro.
happen, like AI takeover won't happen, or will it take time? Like, what's the conclusion?
Well, see, well, the thing is, I'm saying if AI happens, the thing is, like the evolution of technology, the evolution of everything which has been going on, I think will reach a very, very stagnant position. Like it won't move beyond that. It would reach a particular point and then stay there.
So how's it a bad thing? Like, if you have the best and you found the best, I mean, why is it a bad thing? Is what I'm asking. Like, if you have the best
No,
phone,
see,
well and good. Now you have the best phone. Like, why is it a bad
you
thing?
you have wait. That's what. No, you have the best phone. That is considering your current situations, and let us say maybe according to the article, evaluate how things will go on slightly into the future, and then it brings you out the best phone,
Hmm.
and then it gives you, it says this is the best phone, there is no development that can happen that can beat this,
Hmm.
and it
Based on
gives
current
you,
situation.
yeah, based on current situation, and it gives you,
Okay.
and
Okay.
you having that phone in your hand will believe that you wouldn't
Okay.
find a flaw, because the AI.
But for how long will you not find a flaw? Because there'll be a necessity for something else later on. In 1990, if AI had made the best phone, it wouldn't have a high definition camera. It wouldn't need it. There is a necessity for high definition camera now. So an AI in 1990 which made a perfect phone wouldn't have half the things which we need right now. But if the same AI made a perfect phone today, it
Hmm,
would have everything. So
hmm.
so based on your thing, AI can also develop right over time.
Yeah, yeah.
AI
Why
itself
can't
can keep
AI make
upgrading
better
itself over time.
features? Yeah, exactly. Why can't AI do
AI
that?
itself can upgrade over time, no?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Well,
if you have
see,
an AI
Implementation of
smart enough to
AI
make a phone,
itself,
mhm.
yeah. So the problem is
But
where AI itself is upgraded over time. So eventually, yeah, I think it can cover up all our necessities eventually,
yeah, it can.
right?
No, yeah,
well, see that I'll tell you the difference between that and this. Okay, which I think. So the difference between that and this is when you're changing from iPhone 1 and iPhone 2. What is the difference? How much is going to be the difference? Let us say a new camera, and let us say two new features. That is the thing, and then maybe a design change. So these are minute changes, like comparative. When you compare iPhone 1 and iPhone 10, right? So these are
Okay.
small, minute changes, and that is how the updates have gone to. Like, now I give you an iPhone 10 directly. So I think a person would fail to see the minute changes which are required at that with the iPhone 10. You get the point?
Okay. You think an
So
AI will notice that faster than humans?
possibly, like it,
but I
it
don't see
would
the
it
bad
would
thing here, bro. Like, I'm not seeing why you're saying it's a bad thing. Like, everything you say is a big positive for me. Like, you're giving iPhone 10 in the first place itself. Okay, sexy. Like, what's the drawback? Like, yeah.
um I mean, again, let us say, okay, let us say,
I mean,
what
I get
else
your
can
point.
we
You're
do?
saying if I start with AI, I mean, if I start with iPhone
Let
1,
us say, okay, fine,
there's a
fine.
lot of scope for improvement. No, you're correct. Like from
Mhm,
iPhone 1 to iPhone 10, there's a lot of scope for improvement. Correct. But then when you're given
mhm,
iPhone 10, the scope of improvement becomes limited. No. But how is it a
mhm,
bad thing? Like every product has to be the best of its whatever it can deliver. No. So how is it bad
mhm.
that it's giving the best?
Okay, fine. The one thing about game theory is it also involves zero rationality, and by zero rationality is actually the nature. It talks about the evolution, how survival, uh, you know, what does it say?
Survival of the
Survival of
fittest.
the
Survival
fittest.
of the fittest. Yeah, survival of the fittest. So basically, you heard about stagnation of genes?
Not yet.
Where
Maybe
there's
next
no
semester.
mutation. Where there's a convergence and there's no when there's a convergence and there's no new mutation or evolution.
Yes, new
See.
mutation or new this thing is happening, and that is actually
Okay.
a bad thing. So that is what I was saying. You converge to a point, and it actually
Okay.
becomes very, very stagnant. That is a bad thing.
Okay.
It might be the best for your species. It is still bad
Okay.
because everything around you is developing, but you're not. So let us say,
So eventually, that's what evolution eventually ends at. No, like evolutionary.
hmm,
Even when we do the genetic algorithm. No, if you want to
hmm,
do a genetic search, like that's what we end up. We give it a particular mutation percentage, and then we have
hmm,
proper heredity, and then we have
yeah,
selections, we have fitness factors
hmm,
and all. So we end up
exactly,
with the convergent value of
hmm,
that happens because computers have a high computational value.
exactly,
They can process stuff much faster than us. So
hmm,
actually, that
true.
if we could we would probably take like 10 to the power 15 years or something.
Yes,
So
probably.
computer does it much faster,
Yeah.
and you're telling that stagnation, that final stagnation, is reached according to AI.
Yes. I mean, that is what I was thinking, but now that you say that, maybe that, that stagnation is literally gonna be the best and you cannot move away from it.
So yeah,
Bro,
so
let's
if AI
say
actually ends up with that final stagnation, we cannot surpass it because that's more than any lifetime. That's humans might be extinct by the time that stagnation is reached.
Yes, yes.
that's a good thing. No, like
Mm,
I fail to say how it's a bad thing. Like,
mm.
No,
No,
it's not a
see,
bad thing.
yeah, it's not a bad thing. No.
yes.
But humans won't exist. Yeah, that's it. AI will
um
take over. I mean, this point proves that AI will take over. Okay.
Oh shit, bro! They removed the group limit, bro. Sexy.
Talk, bacha, talk.
Fuck yes.
did,
Fuck
did, did,
yes.
did they do it right now?
Right now we got
Yeah,
says a gift from Zoom. Like we
unlimited.
have removed the limit. Fucking sexy.
Nice.
But so, okay, one more thing I want to ask you is, like, humans, no, eventually, okay, let's assume we reach a stagnation, okay, what would humans do at that point? Like, imagine AI did its job and went off, okay, what would humans do at that point? What do you think will humans do? I mean, do you think they'll do better or something worse than AI?
I don't think they exist.
Gandu,
No,
imagine right now, okay,
no,
I
see,
deploy an AI and it finished doing its work in 2 years, okay,
Okay.
we reach that
See,
saturation.
bro, I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. Humans have a lot of disadvantages, which AI doesn't. First of
Correct.
all, computation fatigue. I've talked about this already. Computational fatigue. We end up getting tired thinking, and there's a limit to how much we can actually process something. AI doesn't have it. Okay. Think about physical constraints. We are very easily able to die. We can die very easily.
A lot of things
Okay,
can
then
kill
that's
us,
the end of us.
basically. Huh?
Yeah,
yeah, a
and
lot
the
of
main reason humans have done all this because of the community we have. Like, knowledge is passed on generation after generation, and then like they start adding more to the jigsaw puzzle, and then we are here right now. But AI can live forever. They can coordinate with each other. They can do everything which humans, most things which humans have disadvantages in. So they are the next intelligent beings which will tend to exist. So see, bro, everyone talks about this as a danger, okay, but it's just nature, bro. Humans are meant to die.
well, see, humans are meant to die, yes, but
But not
humans
at the hands
were
of your
not
own creation.
yes, not at the hands of your own creation.
Lol,
Those
nature.
are
All plants be like, oh yeah, bitch, yo, humans, I created you. Yeah, kill me, bitch.
Um, okay, but talking about computer fatigue, I mean computational fatigue. Rohit, would you like to speak about code out of memory?
oh fuck my life. Fuck
That
my
one.
life. Fuck my life. Bro, we had this competition. I told you, this ML competition I was participating in. No, me, Lehit, and one my friend, one guy called Shreyas. Okay. Bro, the
Uh-huh.
motherfucking data set is big, okay? And because of the big data set, I had to use a big model to train the big data set, okay? Or else there'll be underfitting, overfitting, all that is there. So I used a decent size, I use ResNet, okay, basically. ResNet is a very like sexy type of model and all. It's already pre-trained, so you don't have to train too much and all. You just train a little bit and tune it to your data set and you do sexy, okay? So I have this model itself is like 1.2 GB, okay? And then on top of
Okay.
that, my data is around 3 point something GB, okay? So I'm basically training. Okay, I did I sat for like what some 3-4 hours, and I'm sitting and doing the program. And then the end point,
Uh,
like Masa, whenever you run the training part and it runs many, you get full bliss. Okay, like proper for dopamine release in your brain happens. Okay. So I'm like, oh fuck,
okay.
Macha, so much hard work I did off, and I need
Uh,
the release. Okay. I'm sitting like this and
uh,
I'm putting enter. Okay, run. I'm putting run. Okay. Motherfucker, like you're the GPU ran out of memory. It seems. So basically, it's just CUDA out of memory, okay? Bro, I flipped, bro.
okay.
That's what I tried up. I left it up. I ditched it for 2 days. Okay. And then deadline came. So I had to take it up again.
Uh,
And then I had to use a
uh,
smaller model and do it.
uh,
The
okay.
worst part was he used the model before that, and he
Yeah.
got one of the best accuracies he got, almost 100% accuracy with auto encoders, right? He used auto encoders and he got one of the best accuracies, and then
Okay.
he he wanted to stylize it and he made functions, and that
Well,
while making functions he screwed up the code, and now he's trying to redo it, and this happens code out of memory.
Bro, we got second place, okay? If I got 100%, I'll
uh,
be first place. Okay.
oof.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
bad. Okay, bro. One more thing. Talking about the AI, you said nature eventually maybe ends to AI, So what if? Okay, think about this. Okay, let's say we make
But then
robots.
again,
Okay,
see. Listen again. Okay, fine. First your point, and then I'll come back to me.
Masa, this is a huge point. You finish us, then I'll continue.
Okay, fine. I mean, see, this also isn't small, but then, there is this thing like there are always contradicting points and arguments which people come up with, right? So I was thinking another point where AI might actually need humans as well. On a longer farther time it might not need, but for some duration at least it might need humans. And what is it? there is this thing called Emergent Phenomenon, if you know it.
Okay.
So
No.
the thing is that you cannot completely control, let us say, control an organization when there are individual parts. Let us say there is administration, there is tell other parts of
Management,
bits. There is
HR, accountancy,
HR
finance.
management. So now let us say I make this individual groups, and then I say you need to do this for the organization. You need to do this for the organization, and I have individual setups made. The HR, the management. The thing is that even though each of these, how they're working and how it is happening, they cannot mingle with each other unless there is another factor that is higher
person
thing
in
that is
hierarchy.
actually yeah, exactly. So that is emergent phenomenon. Basically, that says that knowing you having individual perfectly functioning individual setups cannot completely work together on a larger scale.
I don't think that's emergent phenomenon, Macha. I think emergent phenomenon is when like small dumb things come together and make something smart. That's emergent phenomenon.
Yes,
You have consciousness
that is
evolving from
exactly
nothing.
that.
So that's
Yes,
that's
but
what he
then
said. No, these different aspects come together and form a company together.
But he said
That
they can't
exactly
come together.
whole
No?
thing,
they cannot come
they
individually
can't mingle
without a
with each
factor.
other.
And what is the factor?
Exactly, that factor right now, there are when it comes to bits, there is a higher, we have a higher hierarchy and how it runs. So there is this administration which actually controls each of this, and there is this hierarchy. So there is this faculty goes to this, and if I think you did TRW, right? TRW had this point, like
No, ask him.
faculty
I did
approaches.
TRW. You were in the same campus. So you did TRW.
Yeah, I think
Technical reports training.
TRW.
First
Everyone does
semester. First
TRW,
semester.
da.
Huh?
Everyone does
Like,
TRW, da. Everyone
Okay,
does
cool.
TRW.
everyone
Sorry,
does
sorry.
TRW.
Okay, cool.
So
I thought you had
basically,
different name or something, whatever.
no.
Okay.
Faculty has a HOD and stuff. So if you have to mail the hire this one, you can mail him directly. But
Oh,
then if you
bro, no,
have
you
to,
can't. The teacher get professor get pissed. Remember, we got a mail.
no. I'm not talking about students to this one. I'm just talking about within the faculty. A faculty to the HOD, he can mail him directly. Whereas uh, a faculty cannot mail another HOD, right? Like HOD of another subject. But he can actually mail a person who is subordinate of this HRD. There is this hierarchy of stuff, and this is how general most organizations work. I'm not really sure about this, but I remember studying about this in TRW. So this hierarchy and
Okay.
how things run is actually what is keeping the organization together. So which bits is failing in, which we'll not talk about. So, but the thing is, what I was saying is
Due to
we
legal
have
reasons.
we have different models, different individuals of artificial intelligence, which would need at least a governing source, and I think that governing source would be a human. I mean, not exactly a
Okay.
human, a human form, a society maybe.
Possible.
Okay. What do you have to
Yeah.
say, Darwin?
Oh yeah, bro. So okay. Let's assume we have like this super smart robot species. Okay, we make not species like we make like the sexy robots which can do anything that humans can do, but then better in like all these sexy bad conditions and all. And then we have like amazing AI and stuff, and then we put it together. Now we have like this humanoid robots that can do anything they want to. Okay. So now it's shut off. Okay, it's like we made this robot. We put it on a box, and then we chucked it to some faraway planet to see how they evolve. Okay, and then we put it on power source. We scatter power sources all across the city. I mean, across the planet, so that they don't die basically of no having no electricity or any kind of fuel there are none. It could be even carbon. I have no clue. But then let's assume the robots are the types that we are making right now. Okay, like all these Atlas and all that are not electricity. Okay, like just like how we eat food, they need electricity to survive. Okay, and then we'll give them plants so that they can generate electricity on their own. and then look full happily and all. Okay, we'll make sure they can reproduce in them, grow in number, and they learn over time. Bro, they're basically humans, but then made by humans. They're robots like humans, made by humans, and sent to some other, like humans in the future, 1,000 years in the future. Let's assume we have sexy technology and do all this. Okay, so now let's assume the first generation of the robots in that planet. Okay, so when they look around, for them, when they're evolving their primitive, so-called primitive brains, when it's evolving, they'll connect everything that they're seeing on their planet right now as a part of them and a part of their society, and then a part of their entire ecosystem. Correct? Like just like how we see plants, trees, and water source, everything which we see as part of our ecology, like our planet kind of thing. No. So as the species evolves, it will find other ways to do stuff, and it might also eventually, when it reaches enough the technological advancement, it might actually start making its own robots, like robots that we made. They're making their own robots and then propagating and doing the same stuff we did. Okay. So how do you prove that we are not just robots by some other alien species, and we are there's nothing that you can prove that we are not just another robot species, robots that some other species actually made. And the trees you actually see are not trees. They're actually power sources that they left and went, that we associate with nature because we have evolved alongside it. What do you differentiate? How do you differentiate between natural and man-made? That's a very
evolutionary biology.
Yeah, so
evolutionary biology.
Yeah, so if something was there from the time we started evolution, okay, when let's say the first organisms when it came, and from that time something is there with you, and when you evolve alongside something, you associate that with nature and part of ecology, right?
Okay, cool. Yeah,
cool.
So if in your case, if someone did make something and put it on Earth, it won't be humans. It'll be that one cell which they put.
Exactly.
They sowed the seeds for future generations. Okay, seed in the sense.
What are the seeds? What are the seeds?
Any kind of seeds. Bro. It could be Adam and Eve for all we care. It doesn't matter.
I'm not saying Adam and Eve. Like, bro, we have a proper evolution chart. Tracing back to how amino acids were made, how RNA is made.
Okay, you knew that when. No, wait 1 second. You realized that we had a chart that traces back to thing, and we had amino acids. How many years back? Did 2,000 years back did people know we had amino acids? No, balls. They didn't know shit. Do you think they knew
Obviously.
we came from single cell organisms? Balls. They didn't know shit. It's
not about I think your concern is with consciousness. Like you consciously think about what needs to be done, but this is naturally happening. All these, first of all,
how do you know it's actually happening, Macha? How do you know it's actually happening?
See, first of all, I think the main question would be how these elements came into being, right? Okay. That's the main question, because we know how elements interact with each other. Eventually, organic compounds are formed. Organic compounds come together, and then life is formed. Eventually, you know all this.
Cool.
You know all this. Okay.
Okay.
The main concern again.
Supposed to know. Okay.
This goes way behind when life was formed itself. Your concern is with.
I mean, it goes back to Big Bang if you think.
Yeah, it does.
Big Bang is still a question. Nobody knows how Big Bang happened. Exactly.
So your question goes back to what the fuck Big Bang actually is. Because after Big Bang, we know everything. We know the entire process is after Big Bang. We don't know what Big Bang is. We don't know what happened before it. We don't know why it happened also.
Exactly.
Everything after that, because first of all, when the Big Bang happened, hydrogen atoms were there. Okay, first of all, everyone's like, oh yeah, quarks were there, everything was there, everything formed. We know the entire process after that. Hydrogen formed, and then higher compounds, higher elements formed, compounds formed. We know everything after that.
Fine. See, okay, now
what we don't know is the Big Bang shit.
Fine.
Yes.
Cool. So now, 100 years back, think about how technology was 100 years back. Okay, fine. What was there? We had steam engines. Okay. Now, okay, there are two arguments. Okay, first I'll tell you the first one. Okay, and then think about 50 years back. We had electricity. We had nuclear power. All that we had. Okay, think about how much evolution. Technological evolution has happened in the past 50 years. Okay. And then think about how much evolutionary technological evolution happened 50 years before that. Like take from 1900. Okay, 1900 to 1950. Let's assume five units of change happened. Okay, let's assume random arbitrary number 5. Okay, we're taking from 1900s to 1950. From 1950 to 2000, you agree it's more than 5, right? It's some 25 because we had laptops, we had internet, we had there was Cold War happening. We went to the moon, so obviously it's 25. From 5, 25. Okay, from 2000
it's actually more.
Yeah, from 2000 to 2020, it's 100. It's not 25. It's 100. Think about all the technology which we have right now, which is not possible to do now. 1950, which people have considered as magic, bro. Obviously, they won't know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. Think about, so it's from 5. Okay, it's arbitrary scale. Okay, fuck it. Don't take 100. Take 75. Take 50. I don't give a shit. So 10, 25, 50. What comes next? Think about the next 1,000 years. Think about the next 10,000 years. Okay, the Big Bang happened how many fucking billion years back? So think about how much time there was for life to develop and form before us. So there could be life that is millions of years more advanced than us, potentially.
Yeah.
So if we can go through so much technological advancement in the past 10, 20 years, I mean 10, not 10, 100 years, think about how much they would have gone in the fucking millions of years. Okay, that's not imaginable, right? So under that circumstance, I believe, I mean, we could be robots, right? We won't even realize that because we are too primitive to realize that.
I mean,
that's possible.
See, I mean, I agree.
Big Bang and all, no. You didn't know what the fuck Big Bang was 100 years back, bro. All your knowledge is coming from the past 100 years.
Bro, in my opinion, or everything we study in physics and all, we have barely scratched the surface. Even all the theories which we have barely scratched the surface. We don't even know. We don't even know what gravity is, bro. We don't even properly know what fucking gravity is.
Cool,
okay, all the equations we have, they're all observations. They're not the truth. So it's a possibility.
So we could be fucking robots and we don't even know it.
Yeah, we could be fucking robots. Okay, on that note,
we
could be fucking robots. Not we could be fucking
I'll ask you 2 questions. Okay?
I don't think we are, but we'll go with you.
Okay, cool.
I'll ask you 2 questions, like, since the topic of physics came. Okay, obviously, like, we have something called with reference to, like, all of physics is on the basis of the point of reference. Correct.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you one question: that is there a point of reference that is true, like that is, let us say the alpha point of reference, like that is a, this one best, like, I'll ask you. Okay, fine. I'll ask you this, and then I'll ask you a second question. Second question is, if you remember, astrologers used to say that sun revolves around Earth and stuff, right? I mean, they're right. I mean, if physics is with respect to the point of reference, aren't they right? According to them, you see the sun revolving them, so they're right. Why is it a wrong thing?
Because that's not what's happening. No, with respect to what they meant like literally sun is moving around the earth. That is not that's what they meant. But then they're wrong. Because sun is
How are you saying? How are you saying?
They are right in a way, but then they're wrong also, I'm saying.
I'll take Earth. According to me, Earth is stationary. So now, based on Earth, I'll make everything move. It might look different for you, but it is actually moving.
He's getting an orgasm. Hari's getting an orgasm. What the fuck?
No, wait. I'll tell you. I'm trying to imagine what he's trying to say. So he's telling, for example, imagine 2 spheres spinning, bro. Spinning like this, okay? You are one of them. Okay, for you yourself don't. This is basic vector, bro. Vectors which
exactly.
When you have two bodies in motion, stop one.
Okay, cool.
Stop one. Keep one stationary. Once you keep one of them stationary, you'll have to adjust the speed of the other one with relate to you. That's vector subtraction.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll get the relative velocity of that with respect to you.
Okay,
so
you think
I'll tell you the problem with that. I'll tell you the problem with that. Yeah, I think that's what he thought astrologist said, because
that's not what he said.
Thought we were stationary. Okay. I'll tell you why that is probably not the case, because we have, first of all, physics, right? We have first of all, we have done this excellent thing of properly explaining everything mathematically.
Yeah.
That's the best invention man has made. Where obviously you have nothing true or false, right? You have something mathematically proven. Okay.
Exactly.
So what we see from that is, if in case we had that stationary point, if at all we did have it, the mathematics says that since sun is a much larger object, okay, the mathematics of whatever we have, Newton's, and then Newton's was not that perfect, then Einstein gave a better one. So according to that theory, that the curvature of that sun is much bigger than the influence of Earth on them. So Earth will revolve around sun, and all the planets will do so. So if at all you did have a stationary point, that would be the case. Is what the mathematics says. So we can't actually say the Earth is the center of the world, because we have mathematics to prove it, and basically we know what maths is, right?
Yeah.
That's a very fundamental thing.
I'm waiting to see, Macha. I can't comment.
Again, see, so the reason I asked this is because if you now, with respect to solar system, it's that yes, Earth is revolving around sun and the other planets are. Again, if you zoom out a bit and then you go to Milky Way galaxy, Milky Way galaxy itself is kind of revolving, and sun is again revolving. So my question is there this point from which you can see every point's movement?
It exists, but an observer can't stand there. That's the thing. You can't have an observer on that point, but mathematically you have that point.
Yeah, mathematically it exists. So that is basically theoretically.
See, you'll always see this. Every observer will have a mass, bro. Every mass is always like there's gravity everywhere, no matter how far you can never have a stationary point.
Macha, as far as I know, no, every point in the universe is the center of the universe. No, if you move, like an experiment, no, where they take a bunch of points and then they move the points with respect to one center, and then you can see the other points moving away from that point, like it's radially moving away from that. And then you change the point of reference, and then from that point, every body starts moving away. Change the reference again. So every point is basically the center of the universe. No, so what are you saying, that you can't stand there and all?
No, I mean,
every point is considered the center because it's like, for example, it's considered we're in 3D space. Imagine a 2D space like the surface of a balloon.
Right? Of the what?
Of a balloon. A surface of an inflating balloon.
Cool.
This I read in Brief History of Time. Okay. So while it's being inflated, you can start staring at one particular point. Okay, and then you can see everything else moving away from it. But if you change your reference again, you will see that point staying stationary and that point which you previously looked at keep moving away. You know what I'm saying? Again, it's your point of reference, but that doesn't mean both the points are stationary. So that's your point of reference. That's your observation. That's your perception. But things are acting. There are forces acting. Gravity is not considered a force by some people, but there is something acting on each other.
Earth is flat, according to some people. So.
No, like I'm talking about actual physicists, not dumb fucks.
Yeah.
What really? Okay, what else is gravity then? What the fuck? What else is gravity then?
Hey, bro, like according to Einstein, again, what Einstein said, some people disagree on what he said also.
He said also, like, yes.
Yeah, but it's like imagine a space, bro. Imagine a flat land. Imagine 2D space. Okay, first from 2D to 3D we'll do. Imagine a 2D space. Okay, gravity is like, if at all there was gravity, it's a curvature. It's like that 2D plane is curved. It's fucking curved on an area which has mass. Okay, it is curved on an area that has mass. So if imagine a guy moving in that plane, but due to that curvature, even though he is going straight, according to him, for him he's going straight. Okay, for him he doesn't perceive that change in for him it's only XY axis, but the curvature is in a Z axis. He can't perceive Z axis. He can't look at that Z axis, but he's going in his plane only. But he's actually going on a curve, even though he's going straight. He's
Exactly.
actually going on a curve.
Yeah, that's sexy.
That-
That's
I mean,
too
that
sexy.
is the reason.
But we
Tell,
are in
tell,
a
tell.
3D space, and we are
Exactly.
in 3D space, and gravity is considered to be a curvature in another spatial dimension,
Exactly.
and then we
I
can't
mean,
perceive that dimension, but the
exactly.
space is curved.
I mean, while a lot of people use this while explaining gravity and how how revolution of planets happen, they stretch this cloth, highly elastic cloth, and then they take a huge weight, and then they keep it at the center, and they
Yeah,
and they put other balls around. So what happens is
yeah,
the ball is going straight, but because of the weight, you see that
yeah,
thing coming down, the curve, and
yeah.
then because of which that starts rotating. So that
If
is
there was no
how
friction, the ball would rotate. And for the ball, it's going straight only.
it's
It's
going
not
straight.
actually
Yes,
it doesn't want to curve, and it's going in 2D space. But it eventually finds itself curving around that ball because of the curvature of space itself. Okay,
exactly.
Einstein gave equations for this curvature. Einstein has equations for this curvature. That's the most fuckball shit. that's the mindfuck shit. And according to Einstein, even when we are stationary, if we're acting on gravity, we're accelerating. I don't know how this is true, but I would like to see the math behind that someday. We're
I
always
understand.
accelerating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I did well in math, so.
Okay, sorry,
Right.
but I'm the C student here. I'm sorry.
Okay, cool. So we'll end it here, on that
Cool.
note.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, cool.
You can't stop
Lehit,
that.
thanks for coming, bro.
I mean, I'll tell a positive note for Rohit. Okay, Rohit.
Okay.
I mean, what do you think is Big Bang? How did Big Bang happen?
I want to say your mom
Did
joke
God do
here,
it?
but okay. Huh?
Okay, stay tuned. Next time Lehit comes on,
I
we'll
am
be
not you,
talking about
Rohit.
it.
I'm not you.
I thought a
I'm
mom
not
joke is
you.
coming, but okay.
Do you think God is the one who did it?
Yeah. That's
What?
Okay, that's another theory. That's the whole different conversation. Let's not have it here.
But yeah, as Rohit
I have
said,
theories on that also.
yeah,
Okay.
as Rohit said,
As Rohit
what
said.
if it was another human series which did the Big Bang?
Okay. Maybe it's some weird shit. We don't even know what is outside this three-dimensional space we live in.
Exactly.
we could
Again,
be in
that
a
is
fish tank, basically.
that
We could
is
be a fish
exactly
in a fish tank.
that is actually one more thing.
Yeah.
You could have a fourth dimensional being around if fourth dimensional being is really there. You could have him just around you and you can't just see him.
We can't
Yeah.
see him, obviously. It's not like a 2D guy can see us, no.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is again a huge thing. So it's ever
Okay,
growing. Yeah,
Thanks,
cool.
Lehit.
Okay, this is a very good episode. Thanks for coming, bro, Lehit. Keep coming. Hopefully our channel also grows eventually. We're having such discussions.
Yes,
Thanks
definitely,
so much.
bro. I hope you do call me again, okay?
Definitely.
But yeah,
Definitely.
all the best, and then cool.
Extra doubt.
Hey, cool, bro.
I'm just kidding, obviously. Chill. See you, Macha.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, bye.
See you, Dad.
Don't leave.
Bye-bye.
Don't leave. I'm just